Hi, this one might kind of just be a rant. I think they all might be. This has been about a year of epiphanies and realizations that I've kept to myself, and I finally, I guess, have gotten the balls to just say it, and I'm going to be clumsy at first, and I'm going to be all over the place, but I have to start somewhere. And, I have so many journals, stacks and stacks of lists and papers and ideas and brainstorming and charts, and it's just, there's so many layers to this whole journey. And right now I feel inspired to talk about the importance of just going on walks, and just the beauty in walks, no matter what you're going through in your life. And how, while I was in my depression, we still can think logically. We still know what's right and what's wrong. We still know what we should be doing. And there's a lack of compassion we have for ourselves. We tend to beat ourselves up a lot. There's a lot of negative self-talk. There's a lot of, I should be doing this right now, but I just don't have the energy. I don't have the drive or ambition, or you want to, you feel this anxiety because your heart is saying get out there, go do something, but you just don't have it in you. You just don't. And so I want to start off by saying that if you're there, if you're still there where you just don't have it in you, it's okay. It's okay. This too shall pass. All of those cliches really did start making a lot more sense. And cliches are cliches because they lose their meaning. But the meaning started to come back for me the more clarity I had. And so each day we kind of do have to force ourselves to do a little bit of something. And when we do, be sure to reward yourself. It's all mentally rewarding yourself, but it's important, that those little baby steps, as long as you're making a little bit, that it's okay. Even if it starts with having compassion for yourself and staying still. Just look outside and just know that in the future, it might not be tomorrow, it might not be a week from now, but soon you will feel better. A little bit better. And so the key is to just gain that momentum, and if you have a day where you feel like you had 2 steps back, that's okay too. But just, and this is where journaling is helpful too, or doing a audio diary or video diary, or just anything to take note of where you're at, do a little check-in with yourself. Anyway, so walks were really important to me the first few weeks, and still are. Every time I go on a walk, I'm just gosh, I need to do this every day. And sometimes I start to beat myself up for not oh my gosh, you didn't squeeze it in today. It's okay. I still have to tell myself that. It's okay, you didn't go on a walk today. But the first few days, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna be all over the place. But I remember, this is the weirdest thing. This has happened to me a couple of times where the first few weeks I was going through this, there was a football field, and it was right, I could see it from my window. I had a really large window, and that was something I was really lucky to have. I was able to see all these people, and this was during quarantine where everything was on lockdown, and this was before they said no to parks too. I was seeing these football players out there, and they're doing their back and forth or little practices, and we also had stairs. These stairs people used for workouts. They were so intense, super steep, and I was watching people just God, I wish I can get out there. I don't even have the drive to do it. I don't at all. And I was sitting there pouting, and just I was looking at people's Instagrams too the first few weeks of lockdown, and how people were just getting creative and doing and then instead of being inspired by it, I was God, I wish I had that in me. I don't. And so I was beating myself up, and it hurt. It physically hurt my heart, that I didn't have the strength to even just go for a walk, And so it's crazy how this is how it transpired. But my first day I went on a walk, I actually brought a blanket with me. I I guess my intention was more of a picnic. I didn't know how far I could go, so I brought a blanket with me, and I might have brought like something to snack on or something, and a bottle of water. And I just wanted to sit and people watch and just be outside. I hadn't had fresh air in a while, so just that I felt like was a nice step. And I did document it. I took a picture of the grass and dogs and kids in the distance, and I was just really trying to take it in. And I think it was right around 6 o'clock at night, and I was just looking around and trying to just be present, and bask in it. And so it felt good, and I was proud of myself for doing that. And so I'm like, I'm gonna do that again tomorrow, or see what I can do tomorrow. And I don't remember now if I did it immediately the next day or if a few days passed and I did it again. But actually, now that I think about it, I think I did drink not too long after this. And I told my therapist, I'm like, I drank, and he's like, it's okay, like just don't do it again, we have our days. But I was trying. And anyway, but butterfly just came up to my window. Sorry. Wow. Anyway, so I started to think, okay, well, I don't have the energy to go up those darn stairs, but I could at least put my earbuds in and go around the football field. And so I'd say I went at like really early in the morning, like right when the sun was coming up, because I was getting really good sleep at this point. When I think I was a few days into, I tried again. I like hit the reset button, like, okay, I drank, but like, let's continue down. I wasn't gonna like, allow that to stop me. I'm like, no, okay, I had a hiccup. Let's start over again. So I did, and you gain that momentum a little bit quicker because you've already cleansed all that time. And then I'm getting off track, but anyway, I set out again, and I got pretty good sleep, and I started to go around the football field, and it felt really good. And it was a weird feeling, because it felt like I was almost denying myself a feeling good, like I didn't deserve it. It was really weird. And so I started to walk faster and faster, and then I just felt compelled to run. I just was like, you know what, like, this feels so good walking really fast. I'm just gonna, and then there must have been a really good song on or something, but like something happened, like some sort of, it felt like some sort of shift, mini shift, and I was gonna go with it, and so I started running, and for the first time, I think in my life, I started crying tears of joy. And it was so powerful. It was so powerful. It felt like medicine. It felt like someone injected me with something, like adrenaline or I don't know, but it felt like pure joy. And I just started crying, and what was cool is there's no one around, and I had my sunglasses on, and I just let it flow. I just let it come out, and it felt so good. It felt so good. It just felt like this huge release. And of course there was pain in there too that I was letting come out. But what stuck with me the most was it was joy. I was proud of myself. I went from, gosh, my first win was, brushing my teeth. Then my second one was taking the trash out. Then my third was, bringing a blanket to the park. And my fourth was, walking faster and walking around. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm running. I haven't ran. I couldn't remember the last time I ran, And it felt so good. It felt so good, so good. And so I think I took a picture of myself too, like later, after, because I wanted to like remember that day. I wanted to remember that mini win, that this is a win. I could feel good again. And so it definitely solidified the fact that walking is just so, it's a natural, free medicine that we all have. We all have the ability to get out and get fresh air, you know. And, you know, I'm sorry, I said we all have, you know, some people they aren't mobile. But you see what I mean. Movement, however you can move. Be in the fresh air, be present, observe what's around you, and take in, you know, all the oxygen you possibly can. It was my little glimpse of life again. You know, I felt alive. And I thought to myself, well, if I just did this and I got this out of it, imagine if I just did a little more. And so that's where I felt the momentum beginning. And so a while later, fast forward like a couple months later, I'm in my new place, which is a whole other story, how I got to this place, which I totally look at as my sanctuary now. But the first few weeks of living here, I was kind of afraid, or at least I was making excuses as to why I couldn't go on a walk. I'm like, no, I don't know. You know, I was feeling good. You know, I've had the energy to do it at this point, but I was kind of making excuses again. And so this one day, I had gone on a walk, and, you know, I don't know how long I had been walking at this point, but I set out on a walk, and I was just like listening to good music and just, you know, really just being present and walking around and looking at just people watching, and just, I don't know, I just felt super connected. And this had started happening already, but it was just like this particular day I was really aware of it, because it was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, so what it felt like was, the only word that's really stands out is camaraderie, because you have a jogger go by you, good morning, and then like a gardener, good morning, and then like a guy on his bike. I remember this guy so vividly. Because he had this little, like, you could tell he like rode his bike every day. He like, it was his hobby, it was his thing, you know. And he goes by and he waves and he's like, good morning. And for some reason that just like gave me like chills. I was just like, oh my gosh, like, good morning. It was so weird, because it's like I felt like I was part of like a team, like some sort of like, it was like I was being welcomed to some sort of secret society of like healthy people. I don't know how to describe it, but it was just like, oh, this is really cool. Good morning. Hi. You know, butterflies are going and birds are chirping and people are saying good morning. And I'm just like, wow, okay. I'm like, that's just life to some people. And now that's my new normal. You know, it's normal to me now to go and say hello to strangers and have a smile on my face. And so on my way home, I remember I was going the opposite way this time. And on my way home, I noticed this, I'm assuming it was a grandpa and his granddaughter, and he was like hosing her off, like, or not hosing her off, but like playing with the water. And they had like a little kiddie pool, and they were like playing, and this weird, but like this emotion came over me like a wave, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like. And then I saw his daughter come out, and she had an infant with her, and she comes out and watches them, and it was almost like time froze, like it was in slow motion. And I was just like looking at it, and they made me like, I just couldn't help but smile and kind of laugh, and I just felt like I was part of that moment in some weird way. I felt like I was, because I was right there. I mean, I was walking by. But it's like time froze, and I had a moment with these strangers I don't know at all, but I felt like their joy. I felt their joy. And I think it's because I had been in isolation for so long that's the closest I felt to like a family connection, you know? And before, I wouldn't see him. I get emotional now. Before, I would just, you know, and I was thinking to myself, like, before, if I was like hungover or like driving in a car past that, I wouldn't have even noticed it, or I would have just been like, whatever, like, you know. But that's life. That is what life is about. That's what life is about, is those moments, you know. And how many millions of them, sorry, that I let pass by me. And then it made me think about how many times I've been with my own family and wasn't present enough to feel joy. And so it's almost like a whole other portal was open for me where I was able to finally like embrace love and life and joy and gratitude and how important that is. You know, instead of money being a motivator or pain being a motivator, it's joy. That completely shifted this paradigm I was in for so long, like not just weeks or months, but years. I hadn't felt joy like this on this level in years. So it just showed me that if I could feel this with complete strangers, just witnessing their joy, my heart had expanded enough to where I was able to like feel it. I was able to feel after so long of being numb. I was able to feel again. So it just like it was a forced new perspective that was a really, really, really good one, a really juicy one. Like, whoa, this is amazing. And for the first couple of weeks I was like, well, maybe I was just hormonal, or maybe I was just, you know. But as little episodes like that happened more and more, I was like, oh my God, I'm actually living again. I'm living again because, you know, it's really hard to explain, but like before, when I would get a glimpse of joy, it's almost like I repressed even that, or I was like, no, you know, I don't show emotion, so I'm not going to go there. And a lot of it's subconscious, and a lot of it's our ego keeping us safe, that like, oh no, we can't show emotion even if it's good. And I realized how dark of a place I was in before. It's like it's almost like I didn't realize just how dark it was until I started to really experience what life is actually supposed to be about. And anyway, so walking now, it's not just that it, you know, it's good, you burn calories, you get your steps in, you gain new perspectives. It's definitely a form of meditation. It's definitely a form of being present, of being mindful, of absorbing all the energies of people around you, of literally feeling the presence of God and the divine. But it's a chance to connect with your higher self. So whenever I'm confused about anything, like which way should I go? What should I do about my finances, or whatever my question might be, this burning question, I just say to myself, just go on a walk. Just go on a 15-minute walk. And within 5 or 10 minutes, not even that, maybe 5 minutes sometimes, I just have this new gained perspective. It's because, you know, you're in a way breaking a cycle. You know, we're always used to seeing what's around us, and so if you're changing just your environment just for a few minutes with the intention, then it's like a way to control your paradigm. And so I just wanted to document how powerful and amazing and wonderful just walking is, and how if we adopt, and you know, the treadmill is cool and all, it does its thing, and you could definitely get lost in the music and all that, but just something about going for a walk in nature, or just in your neighborhood, or just anywhere to kind of get lost in your thoughts, or lost in the music, or not even, you could go without earbuds. A lot of people do that, and that's great. I like the earbuds because of well, that's a whole other video actually as to why. But I like it for meditative purposes. I don't get distracted with like other noises, I guess. It helps me just get in my own world, I guess, in a good way. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. But yeah, whenever you don't know what to do with yourself, just go for a walk.